Hi everyone, welcome back to a new edition of Mask Monday. And today I'm going to just get right into it because I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to do my first time tag while my mask is curing, and at the very end, stay tuned to the very end because I have a little announcement to make. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to start off with the Paula's Choice Skin Recovery Hydrating Treatment Mask, and I'm just going to use that under my eyes like I usually do, just because, you know, when you're my age, you can't have enough moisturization under your eyes. And yeah, I'm really going for the glam look today, guys. And then I'm going to use the GlamGlow Supermud Clearing Treatment Mask, and it's the one in the white jar. The lights just totally pick up on the silver lettering, but it's just, you know, a typical mud mask. I like this mud mask. It's good for my oily skin, and I think it feels like it makes it a little bit clearer, brighter. I don't know. I just think it's really good for your skin to mask regularly. So, okay, so let's get into the tag real quick because there are 24 questions and I have them posted behind the camera so I can read them as we go along, and I want to kind of keep this video within that 10-minute-ish time frame, so I'm going to move pretty quickly. So the first question is, do you still talk to your first love? And the answer for me is definitely no. No, just no. Like, that was a million years ago, and I don't keep in contact with them. The next question is, what was your first alcoholic drink? And that was definitely a whiskey sour, and that's something, was a kind of a family drink whenever we had like family get-togethers. And I would say probably around middle school, my parents would pour us a small whiskey sour to have as part of the celebration, and I think also so that alcohol wouldn't have that mystery, and we would kind of learn how to drink, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't work. What was your first job? Other than babysitting, my first job was working on an apple orchard in town. I grew up on Long Island, and there were a lot of farms back in the day on Long Island, but by the time I was growing up there were not as many. But this was a friend of my sister's, had this job, and when she went off to college, she suggested that I might be a good replacement for her and to work in their store. So I did things like packing apples into the little paper bags, running the cash register, filling jugs of cider, that kind of thing. It was a ton of fun. I really loved it. What was your first car? My first car that I drove regularly wasn't the car I learned to drive on, but it was a car that once I got my license, I shared this car with my father, and it was a '62 Chevy Impala. Excuse me. It was my grandfather's car, and when he no longer could drive, my father took it, and he and I shared it. He had a carpool, and he drove every 4 days, so I virtually had a car every day going to school. Funny story is, one time I had taken the car to school, and he got home from work, and it was a nice day. He wanted to go to the beach. He walked up to the high school and took the car, and he did tell the front office that he had taken the car, but that message never got to me. Yeah, I was pretty freaked out by that. Anyway, that's that story. It was an awesome car. Could fit a ton of kids in it. Go to McDonald's for lunch, yeah. Who was the first person to text you today? That would be my daughter. She was here for her birthday. And so when she returned to school today, she texted me, and we had a lot of fun, and there's a couple of videos with her coming up later on in the week. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? Same answer, my daughter, because she was leaving, was getting up to see her. Who was your first grade teacher? My first grade teacher was Miss Harvin, and I adored her. Does every kid love their first grade teacher? I think so. She was just a great teacher. I loved her. Where did you go for your first ride on an airplane? So that would be in middle school, and I went to Florida to visit my aunt and uncle. They lived in Clearwater, so I guess we flew into Orlando, and it was with my older sister and my grandmother. And yeah, we went there for spring break. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk? My first best friend was Joanne, who lived right across the street from me growing up, and she was my maid of honor. We kept in touch for quite a while after I was married, and then kind of lost touch. We've recently kind of found each other on Facebook. Yeah, what would we do without Facebook? So I am kind of reconnecting with her. Where was your first sleepover? So when I was growing up, I don't think sleepovers were that popular. And I do remember going to a sleepover, and it was probably, 4th, 5th, or 5th grade for somebody's birthday, and yeah, it was cool. I don't know, it's not like kids growing up today where they do sleepovers all the time for no reason, right? It was a special occasion when I was growing up. Who was the first person you talked to today? That was definitely my husband. Just kind of like every married couple, you get up, you chat, right? He was going to play golf today. Whose wedding were you in the first time? So the first wedding I ever was in was my own. And I was 22 years old and just pretty much fresh out of college. I knew nothing about weddings. Thank God I had my mother to help me. But yes, it was a little scary to never have been in a wedding before and have it be your own. Okay, so what was the first thing you did this morning? The first thing I did this morning, and I do this almost every morning, is I checked my email and social media. I'm slightly addicted to Instagram and really love checking to see what's going on. Anyway, what was your first concert you ever went to? So the first concert I ever went to was for the band Chicago, and it was at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, and I went with a friend of mine. I was not a huge fan of Chicago, but I had not been to a concert before, and I really wanted to go have that concert experience, and it was okay. It would have been more fun if it had been a band I really loved, but I had a good time with her. So the next question is, we're about halfway through, is what was your first broken bone? And that's just recently, as you know, I broke my thumb, but it is better, and still I had the splints off, but still a little sensitive. Never broke any other bone that I'm aware of. First piercing. So my first piercing were my ears. I grew up in a different time. Piercing multiple body parts was not a thing you did. So I pierced my ears I was allowed to do it when I was probably in 6th grade. And we used self-piercing earrings, and they were like little hoops, and they had like a needle on one end, and you had to line them up very carefully. And I can remember going to bed that night and just laying in my bed, and I was afraid to move because I was afraid they were going to fall off. It hurt like holy hell. It took about a week. I do not recommend that at all. Okay, so the first foreign country I ever went to was camping with my parents in Canada. So when I was growing up, we had a camper, and we camped everywhere from the Florida Keys up to Nova Scotia. So I am certain that that was the first foreign country I ever went to. The first place I ever flew to foreign country was for my honeymoon, and we went to the Virgin Islands. St. Thomas was beautiful. What was the first movie you remember seeing? The first movie I remember seeing was a movie called Thoroughly Modern Millie, and I had to check to see when this was released, 1967, so I was about 7 years old. I was born in 1960. And we had been camping on one of those camping trips with my family, and I'm sure it was like pouring rain, and it was just something to do. Whatever we had planned to do that day, we couldn't do because it was outdoors, and we all went to the movies. This was highly unusual. We almost never did that. And perhaps that's why it stands out so much in my mind. Great little movie, as I recall. I should rent it and see if I still think it's kind of fun. I don't know. When was your first detention? I never had detention. Wasn't that I wasn't a rule breaker. I guess I just never got caught. Enough said about that. Who was your first roommate? My first roommate was in college, and her name was Robin. And we lived together for, well, we moved in midway through the first semester and that following year, and then after that she transferred to another school. She went to Florida, and I was sorry to see her go. We were good match, and we still keep in touch today. If you had one wish, what would it be? Yeah, it would be to win the lottery. Does that make me shallow? Maybe, but yeah, it's a fantasy. What is something you would like to learn if you had a chance? For some reason, I would like to learn Italian. I think it's a beautiful language, and I think it would be just so much fun to go to Italy and know some Italian. I don't know. Yeah. Another one of those fantasy things. What was your first lessons that you ever took? I took ballet and tap and jazz lessons. I wanted to take dance lessons so bad I begged my parents. They finally let me when I entered like kindergarten, and I danced for 7 years. It was something I really, really enjoyed. I'm not sure I was very good at it. I thought I was really good at it, but I'm not sure I was. But it was still fun. I had a great time. I kind of stopped when I started working. And then this is the last question. Yay! Who was the first person, beauty-related person on YouTube that you ever watched? And that was definitely Emily Noel 83 from Beauty Broadcast. And I watched a whole bunch of her videos. I can't remember what I was searching on that I wanted to see. I think I had just bought the Naked palette, and I wanted some ideas on how to use it. And I remember watching her for some reason. Okay, so this looks pretty done. I'm going to go remove it, and I'm going to be back for my announcement. So stay tuned. So a couple weeks ago, I posted a video for a Sephora haul where I got a VIB bonus when I was checking out. I didn't know they were offering a bonus, and it was a huge surprise for me. It was a really nice bonus. It had 9 things in it, and I highlighted it at the end of that haul. I'll include a link below for that in case you want to watch it. And I guess I went back to Sephora like the following week for something I had forgotten, and they still had those bonuses left, and they gave me a second one. I was like, woohoo! How awesome is that? So, I obviously don't need 2 of these, so I thought I would do a little thank you giveaway to my subscribers. So, if you're interested in putting your name in for a drawing for this little bonus, all you need to do is leave a comment on any one of the videos that I post in the month of September. It's going to run for the whole month of September, and I will do a drawing and contact the person directly who has won that drawing, and I will mail it to you. So if you're under the age of 18, you should definitely check with your parents to make sure that they are okay with you entering this and giving me an address to send it to you later on. and you can leave a comment on as many of my September videos as you would like, and I will announce the drawing at the end of the month. So this is a big warm thank you to all my subscribers. I so much appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoy this little bonus. So good luck. Leave me lots of comments. If you want to do a thumbs up, that would be awesome too. And stay tuned. I have lots of great videos with my daughter that we filmed, and a couple other focus on fall ideas that I'm gonna be posting over the next week or two. So have a great day. I hope you're having a wonderful Labor Day weekend, and the weather's good and you're having a fun time, maybe doing a little cookout, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.